Hello Year 7s, we're going to go through how to arrange Jingle Bells into something incredible. So first thing you want to do is go into Classroom, click into the Bandlab link to get into the project. Here it is. On your computer, you're going to need to click on the title, Play a Christmas Song, and when you click in, there will be a Start Assignment button. So do click on that to open the studio. For me, I'm just going to go around so that I don't edit any of your work. But you're going to see something like this. So let's get through the instructions. First thing you want to do is add an instrument track. So click there on the green button, add an instrument track. And you've got a keyboard where you can play the melody. All right, so let's have a look at the music. I've got a really simple version, and you're going to start with the E. That's an E. So we're going to start on this note. And so what I'll suggest you do is turn on this metronome. When you've got the metronome, you're going to hear the clicks so that you can play in time. All right, so I'm going to start recording it. You can follow exactly what I do, watch it a few times to learn it, or read the notes and use your understanding to play it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Beautiful. All right, good stuff. So you can see that the music has been recorded. Fantastic. You might need to take a few times to do that, but if you want to check your work, you can hit the rewind button, which is this, and hit play. And you hear the tune. I made a mistake here. That's okay. So we've got the tune. Step 2, change its tone to something awesome. Right now it's on a studio grand or a grand piano sound. Not the coolest thing. You might want to change it to arcade lead. Let's try that. Now, if you want any of the other things like an organ, you can. But for this, I'm going to go with an arcade lead. There we go. Let's have a listen. There you go. So it's a slightly different tone. All right, let's move to step 2, making it sound even more awesome. We're going to add a drum beat. Now, for today, we're going to look at how to use Bandlab sounds and to use samples. Now, samples are pre-recorded bits of music that you can add to your project. So let's click on Bandlab sounds. And the best way of dealing with this is to click on loops. And under loops, there will be a filter button. There's going to be a lot of different kinds of sounds. We are looking for a drum kit. So we're going to click on drum kit, and it's going to narrow down the samples to the drum kit samples. There's still 9,000 of them. So moving on, notice another way of narrowing it down besides just the instrument, which is a drum kit, is the genre. So with genre, you've got the different styles. I'm going to try drill. And then you click back out of the filter, and you're going to get a few samples which are in this style. Oh, that's a bit too syncopated. Click on the play button and you'll hear what the sample is. Cool. Let's try this one. This one sounds alright. So I'm going to try this drum beat. To add it to your project, you drag and you drop it there, and it's gonna ask you about transposing. Just leave it as is. You don't need to transpose. And something's happening with my mic. There we go. So let's have a listen. Notice the drum beat is set. Pretty cool. Great. Now, I'm just going to have a look at the project. If there are too many menus open, you can close the menu so you can see your music a bit better. Okay, your tune should be about 8 bars long, and so if there's too much, you can bring it back, you can trim it. If you need to loop the drum beat, you can also loop it by dragging the little looper. Some of the drum beats might be 4 bars long, so you might need to double it. If they only gave you this much, you're going to need to put your cursor over the loop and then drag it out so that it repeats itself. Fantastic. The third thing we're going to do is add some sound effects. So, to do sound effects, we'll open up Bandlab Sounds, and this time we're not looking for loops, we're looking for one-shots. One-shots are single effects that you can add. For example, you could have, let's see what there is for bells. Oh, that's a cute one. One-shot sleigh bells. Okay, so I might add some of those. And there's a bunch of different ones. Let's go with that one. And so you can drag it in, and you can also use your copy and paste, so you can layer them on. Let's try that. Now you might well want to make it a bit more dense, so this requires a bit of navigation. You're going to need to trim that first sample to a really short amount, and then with this sample, you can copy, Control C, or you can duplicate. Let's go copy, and then when you go to here, you should be able to paste and drag it in. Now you can do it for multiple samples, so once you've got two, you could copy both and then paste both. Oh, sorry, I'm not the greatest at navigating this. Paste. Let's try copying three. Copy, and then move your timeline bar to where you want, and then Control V or Command V to paste. So now we start having a bar which is a bit like this, so that you've got some rhythmic jingle bells happening as well. I'm going to select that and try the paste one last time right here. There you go. So if you want to do something like that, you can. You could also try other things like sirens. Sirens are always fun. Pretty nice and ominous. Let's add that in. There you go. All right. There you go. Let's add one more just for fun. Let's get some crowd sounds. Maybe we'll get some applause or cheers. Okay, maybe we'll get a crowd cheering. Let's see what there is here. Oh, how cute. Yeah, let's get some noise here. Alright. There we go. So now, and I noticed that for this sample, there was a big intro. So if you don't want the intro, you can trim the start so that you start straight into where the action is and then drag it forward. Alright, let's have a listen to my work now. Alright, so fantastic. You get the idea of how this works. We have put the music in. I want to now go through dynamics. Dynamics will help shape your work. First things first, some layers of sounds might be too loud or too quiet. Let's have a listen. I'm going to turn on the looper. You do that by clicking on this, and you can see that we're going to repeat that first bit so that I can listen and change the volume. So I find that the crowd should be too loud. I'll bring it back. I want more ominous and probably a bit less drums. So that's how you deal with dynamics. You can turn things up and down. If you want to get into the advanced use of dynamics, here's what you do. You click on the automation button. That's here. And when you've got automation, you can do a little dynamics line or graph. So for example, we want the melody to start loud. You'll bring the line nice and high. And when you want to turn it down, you can bring the line lower by putting a dot and then putting another dot where you want it to be softer. You're going to form a line, and this line will represent the volume. We'll do the same for the sleigh. So let's start quietly and let's turn it up like that. Alright, here's what's going to happen. We'll start from the start. You're going to notice these volumes are going to move around based on how I've done the line. So you can see see that the volumes will move by themselves. So feel free to try that, and if you want to explore a bit more, you might want to try other samples, other effects. I'll leave it up to you. However, the last step is to save your work. Bandlab does not automatically save your work, so you need to click this button to save your work. Alright, so once you've clicked that, you would have saved your work, and I would suggest titling your work Jingle Bells. Alright, now last bit is how you submit it into Google Classroom as an assignment. To submit your assignment, you're going to need to click on this menu button, Project, and Download. You're going to download a mixdown. A mixdown is when the computer combines the 5 layers, squishes them all together into one sound file that you can then play in a music player. So that's what that does. And it takes a while because, you know, dealing with sound files does take a while. But when you're here, choose the MP3. That's the best format to save. And when you're here, click that download button. And once you click the download button, it's going to start downloading. It says it's done. You can see that in my downloads folder, it's just downloaded what I need. It's also going to show up in the downloads folder as well. Alright, once you've done that, then go back to your classroom and you can attach the file. I'll just demonstrate how you attach the file in case you need a bit of clarity there. I'm just going to open up a random assignment like this science class. Okay, so you click on Add or Create, go to File, and then click on Browse File. You should find the file in your Downloads folder. So you can see I've got a file called Jingle Bells. Click on Open, and it's going to upload it into Google Classroom. And once it's in, you can click the Hand In button. And that's how you submit your work. So, I hope you enjoy this task. All the best for it. And I'm looking forward to seeing all your incredible work.